Hey guys, and welcome back. It is still December and we are still preparing for the holidays. But one thing I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about is I wanted to touch on something that Julie actually posted about a few days ago, and that is men's health. I think so often we really tend to focus on women in our group, and that's not to alienate the men. We love you. But let's face it, men are more silent about a lot of things. They don't talk as much about how they're feeling, their health, their emotions. And so I think it's really important that we take today and focus on the dudes. So there are a couple of key points I want to make. And first of all, I want to acknowledge that stress affects men just as much as it affects women. But like I said, they're less likely to talk about it. They're less likely to share that experience verbally, openly. And I know that 2020 has taken its toll on the men in our lives just as much as it has taken its toll on the women in our lives. A long-term study was conducted by Harvard, and they followed 724 men and found that headed from their 20s, 30s, 40s into their 80s, this was a long-term study, they found that men needed social connectivity and quality relationships, and that men who had quality relationships, quality friendships, people who became a support system for them actually lived longer lives, had less disease, had less physiological complaints, had better health, and overall lived much better, healthier, longer lives. We know that loneliness can be toxic to our health. Social connection improves both the physical and the mental health and leads to a longer life expectancy. Those who describe themselves as lonely actually have greater health issues, more brain issues. Brain function actually declines when someone reports loneliness or sadness. These men who would consider themselves to be lonely, and remember that you can be lonely and be in a group of people, right? You can be around people, you can be in a family, you can have social interaction in your job and your gym and your workplace and have friends, right? But you can still feel lonely, isolated, and alone. I think that's exacerbated in 2020, obviously, because of COVID, the pandemic, social isolation, stay-at-home orders in certain states, working from home in many cases. You're way far more isolated now than at any other time. And when we report loneliness, we report that men get more disease, die much younger, and generally have earlier onset of certain diseases like heart disease and Alzheimer's. Loneliness, I already talked about that, can occur in a crowd. So it's not about just having relationships, it's about having quality relationships. Secure, attached relationships include friendships and romantic relationships, but these are health protective. Men who were followed into their 80s showed sharper memories, longer lives, and lower levels of all types of inflammatory diseases. Men are meant to thrive, not just exist, not just power through, not just bring home the bacon. Men should be thriving, living phenomenal, fulfilling lives. And we know that heart disease is actually the leading cause of death in the United States, both for men and women. Yet almost 40% of men over age 20 are obese. Obesity leads to cardiovascular disease, diabetes, increased risk of many types of cancers, and also affects other areas of our lives, right? So obesity affects our relationships, it affects our romance, sex, it affects our jobs, it affects financial outcome. People who are obese actually report lower incomes because of less ability to be hired, higher insurance costs. Also, their work productivity tends to decrease. So what's a guy to do? You know, what do you do to ensure the fact that you have good relationships, a healthy lifestyle? First of all, remember that food is fuel. Good food goes inside the tank, no different than you would put premium gas in a premium car. You have to feed your body for what you want the outcome and the output to be. Men actually typically do lose weight faster than women because they have higher testosterone levels. I mean, that's one of the benefits of being a guy. Women will struggle much longer with their weight, where a guy can typically change his diet and see pretty substantial results much faster. So we mistakenly think that men can out-exercise a bad diet because they have better luck at losing weight, but that isn't true. And it only works until it stops working. And it stops working when we see younger people. This week, I've had younger men call me with diverticulitis, Crohn's, IBS, diabetes, cardiovascular problems. This is getting progressively younger and younger for lots of reasons. Poor diet, poor stress management, lack of emotional, I don't want to say emotional intelligence, but the ability to be vulnerable, talk to people, have good quality, lasting, substantial friendships where we share things, because we as a society are becoming more and more isolated from one another. The second thing you can do is move every day. Just move, do something, walk, stretch, yoga, use a standing desk, park further away from the door when you go into work in the morning or when you go to the grocery store so that you have to walk longer. Take a walk with your spouse, take a walk with a friend, play basketball, do some kind of sport, even if it's just a recreational shoot the hoops in the driveway kind of thing. Get your body moving. Try to get 20 to 45 minutes of activity per day. Thirdly, stay hydrated. I'm not going to lecture on electrolytes in this video, but you all know that water is not the thing that hydrates you. Electrolytes are. You've got to be getting good quality hydration. That's why we offer the Hydrate product to our clients, because you need potassium, magnesium, and sodium in the right amount for your body every single day, intentionally put in there. Make sure, number 4, that you're getting sleep, because sleep is so important to recovery. You cannot heal, restore, recover, or build muscle, lose fat, any of those things if you're not getting adequate amounts of REM. 7 to 9 hours of sleep for an adult of uninterrupted, truly restful, quality sleep. If you need help with sleep, make sure you watch the video that we did back in Bedrock Your Body on sleep. Without sleep, you will gain weight, be inflamed, have decreased cognitive ability. Just 2 nights of less than 7 hours of sleep decreases cognition significantly. And blood pressure goes up when your sleep is not adequate. Some tips to better sleep. Keep the bedroom exclusively for sleep and sex. Nothing else happens in there. You don't watch TV, you don't hang around. Sleep and sex, that's it. That's all the bedroom is for. Make sure that you don't have a TV in the room. Make sure that you don't have artificial light in the room. So even an alarm clock emits an artificial light throughout the night that keeps you actually from getting into that deep, steady state of sleep. So I like using the Vibrate on my Garmin, or music playing to wake me up, but I have it outside the room, like in the bathroom, or far enough away that I have to actually stand up out of bed and get to it. Keep the room cool and dark. And lastly, make sure you limit artificial light after sundown. That means your TV, all electronics, your cell phone, your tablets. If you have to be on a phone after the sun goes down, or you have to be on some kind of electronic device after the sun goes down, make sure that you're using blue blocker sunglasses or some kind of a blue blocker light stopping program on your tablet, computer, phone. They sell lots of ones you can install that are hardware, but there's also software that you can install on your cell phone, computer, tablet, etc. I know my kids all on their tablets have a blue blocker program. I'm trying to think what the name of the one that Rob always recommends is, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. Anyway, So those are some tips for you guys. I hope that everyone has a wonderful weekend. And if you guys have any comments, please post them in the comment section. We'll talk to you guys soon.